Hi everybody, thank you all for tuning back in to another episode of Bubbly Banter podcast. I'm your host, Sierra Patskowski.
And her husband, Trevor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dog.
Yeah. What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? How is everyone?
Oh my gosh, I love you.
I love you too.
Alrighty, y'all. The promised episode, we're going to talk about Singapore and our honeymoon.
Yes, ma'am.
But not too much about the honeymoon. Just the fun parts that we can talk about.
It was all fun.
It was all fun.
Yeah?
It's just the parts that we're allowed to talk about.
For sure.
PG-13.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I had to give him a look.
I was like, what do we do? I wouldn't think we would talk about that stuff anyway.
Yeah. Anyhow. All right, love. Do you want to start off by giving them kind of the rundown of why we chose Singapore? Did we already say that in the last episode?
I have no idea, but we can remind everyone.
Yeah, do it.
So, we both... She's never been out of the country, and I haven't been out of the country in a long time. So we definitely wanted to go all out with it. So we were just looking at different places. South Korea was one of our options. Japan was one of our options. Italy, for a brief moment, was one of our options.
Very brief.
And then we watched Crazy Rich Asians. Mm-hmm. Well, we were going to the casino a lot. And we kept seeing Crazy Rich Asians. And then we watched the movie Crazy Rich Asians.
Like, on the slot machines. They were literally slot machines that were based off of the movie.
Yeah, I was just calling a bunch of Asians crazy.
Yeah, that's what I had to clarify.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't get me canceled.
And we were like, let's go to Singapore. And that's really how we chose.
Yeah,
off a movie.
It was literally based off of the movie. And it was actually super true to all of the things that we saw in the movie. Like, I think the coolest spot that we went to was the Marina Bay Mall.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the top of it where they actually had the engagement party, celebrating that they were engaged.
Yep.
Like, we got to have dinner up there on the patio. It was beautiful.
Breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking.
So beautiful. We spent our wedding dinner there. Like, we chose to have our wedding dinner there to just celebrate as newlyweds. Mm-hmm. Like, we had like a 5-course meal. Nope. And I thought that was hilarious because we thought it was going to be like, how much do we think it was going to cost? That was the most expensive meal of my entire life. I will just say that.
Yeah, it was a decent chunk of change. I forgot how much it was.
It was like, because we read the menus wrong. Because it said like 5-course meal.
For like $200.
For $200. No, like $250. It was $250. And we were like, oh, for 2 people? That's sick. Let's do it. It was per person.
Yeah.
So I was like, that.
And the drinks were expensive.
Was insane. Yeah, like drinks not included.
Because
so, like,
we don't drink unless it's on special occasions. Mm-hmm. So obviously it's our wedding dinner. So we had a little cocktail, both of us, to celebrate. And
we were higher than what was it? Was it the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah.
We were literally up higher than the Eiffel Tower. And Trevor does not drink ever. And I barely drink. But he was feeling himself up there. That altitude messed with my husband.
And so the U.S. dollar is stronger than the Singaporean dollar. So we weren't spending on this trip a lot of money because we were going to like hawker centers and those kind of things.
And hawker centers are food centers.
And we'll go into that here in a minute. Maybe relating it back to the movie. Mm-hmm. So when it was $250, it said $250 for 3-course meal or whatever. Mm-hmm. That feeds
like
2
people. 5-course meal.
Yeah. So we were like, oh, $250, pretty good. So it's $500. But also to give perspective, the U.S. dollar was stronger, so it really wasn't $500. And then on top of it, we were saving a ton of money by eating at all these places.
It was amazing.
Minus this one expensive one.
Yeah, that was like the most expensive, and I think it was like the second week when we did that, right? Or was it the first week?
No, it was the third day.
It was not the third day.
You're right.
Yeah, it wasn't the second week, but it was like Saturday.
Yeah.
It was Saturday. Mm-hmm. And I think we like, had we not eaten there, we probably wouldn't have even spent $300 on food for the full 2 weeks that we were there. Because of that. I feel like that's how cheap it was.
Yeah, but then the barbecue place you spent, like,
Oh, yeah,
$100.
that's true. Y'all, you guys, if y'all have not seen Naruto, this is what inspired us to go eat here. So, like, Choji is one of the characters in Naruto, and he loves eating Japanese barbecue, where you can, like, cook the meat, like, yourself at your own little grill at your table. And I have been telling Trevor, I was like, I want to go to one so bad, but I want to wait until we are in Asia, because I want to experience the actual culture of it. And when we went, it was, like, the best.
It was phenomenal meat.
So good. Like, the best meat I've ever had. And then when we got back to the States, we were like, let's go find one here and let's just compare. Awful. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't awful.
It was mediocre, for
sure. It was
sure.
mediocre. Awful was me exaggerating. It was really not that bad. I quite enjoyed it, but...
Sorry,
everyone. It was... Babe. What's he doing?
I don't know.
Trevor,
Sorry,
we're recording. And so it was like, it was okay. It was all you could eat, but it was definitely not like something that I was like, yeah, I'm going to sit here all day and consume this, because it wasn't seasoned. They gave you all your own seasonings, but they didn't even tell you what the seasonings were.
True.
So it was also like, I'm not going to just dip my food in random white cream and hope it's not mayo. I don't know. Trevor. You know what? He's about to be dismissed from this episode. He is interrupting and he's being bad. But, yeah, that was, like, one of our first points of, like, big touristy things. And they told us that Dua Lipa was there literally 2 weeks prior to us, and she sat down at, like, a table, like, 3 tables away, but outside. Because it was really starting to storm, so they had to cancel the patio, block it off for a little while until the storm cleared. So we were inside, and we got, like, front view next to the window of all of Singapore. So, I mean, it was a very beautiful view.
You could see Thailand, or not Thailand, you could see Malaysia, that's the bordering country, and Indonesia from up there. It was super pretty.
It was really pretty. And then we went to Universal another day, and it was really fun. I've never been to Universal, so I'm pretty proud to say that the Singapore Universal was my very first time to go.
Yeah.
But it was also a very, very small Universal.
It was a smaller Universal, but... I mean, I still think for the amount of money they charged, I think it was very reasonable.
Oh, yeah. I'm not mad at it at all. Like, I'm really happy. I would go again next time we go.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a quick trip to Universal, because we did the, like, flash passes that you would get, like, at Six Flags. I don't know what they're called for the Universals, but...
Fast Pass.
Oh, okay. So we got a fast pass. I called it a flash pass. But, yeah, we got a fast pass. We got to skip all the lines. There was only, like, 7 real big rides to ride anyway. So that was pretty cool, though.
But with how hot it is,
yeah.
the paying for the fast pass was worth it.
Oh, yeah, no, it was definitely worth it.
The lines weren't necessarily... So anyone who's been to Disney World, Disneyland...
Not me!
knows those lines can get ridiculously long, even with having a fast pass. Here at Singapore's Universal, the lines, you still had to wait, and it took some time, but they weren't as long as what we're used to here in the States. But with how hot it was definitely worth getting the fast pass for sure. Yeah. And because it made everything more enjoyable, because we could just go ride a ride and have a good time and not really sit in the hot sun.
And my favorite ride that we went on, it wasn't even a roller coaster. Y'all would be shocked, because I am a huge roller coaster junkie. But mine was actually the Transformers ride, where we got on, and it was like 4D. It was like a 4D like ride where it like had screens wrapped around us, and it like you sat in a little cart, and like you did go around like in a circle.
Yeah, it was like a cart.
Yeah, it was just like a quick little trail in a circle. But like they would shake the cart whenever, you know, like the Transformers were battling. Yeah. And then whenever a car would get flung over you, like they would blow wind in your face to make it it was just so cool, because it felt so real. And there was at one point where it like made it seem like we were falling out of a building, and like all of us were actually screaming. Like, it was insane.
Speaking of falling out of a building, we got to talk about the VR.
Oh my gosh, yes, we do need to talk about the VR. That one was crazy.
So the VR
was not at Universal.
So they have a lot of malls. That's one thing we noticed. Singapore has just like in the 10 minutes of where we were, there was 4 major malls.
Yeah, major. Like not even small, major.
Yeah.
They love to shop.
Yeah. One of them was at Marina Bay Sands, and that's like their luxury mall. Mm-hmm. And they have all the name brands. They got Gucci, they got Prada, they got Rolex, they got Coach, they got Tiffany, they got everything. But this mall was their tech mall, so they have like clothes and stuff too, but they have a lot of technology focused things. And the design of the mall was just super cool. Like that at the very bottom, the basement level, they had a rock climbing wall going up to the 3rd floor?
It was the 3rd floor.
So that was super cool. But anyway, getting to the VR. The VR was hanging over the mall.
It was
in like
insane.
A glass room. Now,
it was literally a glass box.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so the VR itself is like you could do that here in the States, but just because the setting of the room was floating over the center of the mall leads us into the falling out of building thing, babe. Do you want to describe the game?
Yeah. So we played a zombie game, and then we played this like game where you're stranded in the ocean, I think on a boat, and like there's all these fixtures and pipes, and you have to hold on to those, and you have to fight each other. Well, in the zombie game, we are on a team. We're fighting zombies that are just like coming at you left and right behind you. Like you have to guard each other's back because you're literally in this little like cockpit kind of thing.
Yep.
You're not allowed to leave. And as you level up, the zombies gain like speed. They can start sprinting at you. They can start extending their arms towards you to grab you out of your cockpit. They can start flying, like, because they have robot backpacks or something. Like, it was insane. And, like, in the video game, they would literally tell you, like, get down, duck. And, like, because you had a commander telling you what to do. And if you didn't get down and duck, whenever the flying zombies were coming over you and shooting you with their, like, lasers or whatever, you would die. Mm-hmm. So it was, like, pretty intense. Like, you had to get into the game. So that one was definitely my favorite. I only hated the other one because I did not know we were allowed to use both hands to shoot at each other. Had I known, I would have beat you.
So, give more context to the floating one. Yeah, so like we're in real life we're standing in this glass box 3 stories up, and then in the game you're
like holding on
30
to pipes.
Stories up in the game, and you're fully immersed in it. So like and don't forget, like, whenever we were literally signing paper, like, we were signing forms stating that we were good to play, they had to ask us if we had a height, like, a fear of heights. Because if you did, like, you would definitely...
freak out.
Yeah. It was... If you knew you were on ground level, I think you could get over it.
Yeah.
But in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, crap, I'm 3 stories up.
Yeah, like, I'm 3 stories up. It's a glass box I'm standing in. And, like, in the game, you're also, like Trevor said, you're 30 stories up, and then you're holding on to pipe fixtures, and if you let go, I don't really know what happens if you let go.
You don't fall. No, because I let go. That's how I shot you.
Oh, yeah, duh, that's right. Yeah. And see, had I known that, I would have won, because you can only...
I still had more points than you, girl.
Because you were using both hands.
No, I just had normal points from collecting the diamonds.
I was collecting the... So, basically, there was, like, a side quest in the game. You had to find each other. It's like hide-and-seek shooter game. And so, you had to find each other. Quit trying to box me right now, bro.
She wants to fight.
He's literally posting up. Anyway, and so, you have to find each other. It's like hide-and-seek, tag, but you're shooting each other. So, there's a side quest where you have to collect gems, and whoever has the most gems at the end of the game wins, but also whoever has the most kill, like KO or whatever, wins too. Mm-hmm. So, Trevor had the most gems and most KO. So, boom. I didn't know we could let go. I thought you had to hold on to the pipes because that was your way of, like, traveling to find the other person. And so, I literally thought if you're not grabbing onto pipes and moving that way or climbing ladders, like, if you let go, you die.
Yeah.
So, I wish she would have disclosed that with us, because I swear I probably would have had a better chance at winning.
Well, you might have another chance down the road.
Yeah.
So, I had an idea for this podcast of yours.
Okay.
For today's episode.
Oh, okay. This is now Trevor's podcast.
I say I name my first favorite thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then and at the same time, you spit out your first favorite thing.
Like
your top
the trip?
4. Yeah.
We're going to do this 4 times?
Yeah, so like my first favorite, X, and then, but as I say it, you say it. So we say them at the same time to see if we're in sync with our favorite moments.
Okay, hold on. I got to think of mine. Because there was just so many good times.
There was a lot.
There was so many good times. I don't even know. I know which one you're going to say first. Because you said it in the last episode. And I compared it to bread. The church.
Yeah. Yeah, the church was definitely my first favorite.
Mine was the kaya bread. And I don't want to flake from that because it's in the previous episode. So I'm going to stay true to it. It's the kaya bread. God, forgive me. I love you. Thank you for the bread.
Okay. So we got it down now.
Okay.
On the count of 3, do your second one.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Karaoke.
Night Safari. Huh?
Oh, Night Safari.
The karaoke was a really good time.
Yeah, I'm kidding. The Night Safari scared the crap out of me.
So we did towards Malaysia. They have Singapore Zoo, and we went there and they do a night safari, and you're just in this little like tour bus looking thing.
Yeah.
But there's
No
no
doors.
no walls, nothing.
No windows.
And the animals are just out and about.
No fences.
No fences at all. So, now for like the bigger cats and whatnot, like the lions and whatnot, there was a big ravine, so like it was going to be hard
They're
for them.
fast.
They are very fast.
They can jump and leap and catch us if they wanted to.
They probably could have.
And the lion that stomped on the other lion's tail did that on purpose to scare us.
That was funny.
Because he roared.
But the hyenas,
Oh, God.
they didn't have a big ravine.
That scares me. I don't know how we made it.
And I was just like, babe. And Sierra was on the side with the hyenas. I'm like, there they are. They're not in a cage. And it took her a minute to realize that they weren't in the cage.
They were not in a cage. They were like arm's reach. I'm just kidding. No, they weren't that close. But they were really close, y'all. I was like, if they get any closer to this car than they already were, I was just going to blend in and start laughing. Because then they would think I'm one of them.
I'm dead. No, and like the hippos and elephants, those are behind any actual enclosures.
Yeah.
But like the deer, the small animals, and the hyenas,
But why
and the
not
wild
the
dogs,
tigers? That one blew my mind.
They had a really big ravine.
That doesn't matter. They're
but,
so fast.
yeah.
And that tour bus was driving so insanely slow. Like a turtle could have passed us faster.
I would have pushed you. I'm just kidding.
No, you would have. Say it with your chest. Let them cook.
I would have pushed one of the kids.
Babe, there was a little girl in front of
Well,
us.
I just got married. I have to save my wife, right? Especially
because there's no life insurance.
Well, and your mom thought I was going to get rid of you on this trip anyway.
Trevor, you're not supposed to tell people that. Mom, if you're listening,
I love you.
He wasn't supposed to know.
What do you mean? She knows I was right there when you were talking about it. I love you. You're great. We joke about it.
It's true, y'all. My mom really did think he was going to get rid of me on that trip. I love you, Mom.
All right. Third thing.
Let me think. Hold on. Let me think. Let them cook. Let me see. What was the third thing?
I know what I'm going to say.
Oh, my gosh.
Let me know when you got it and I'll count down.
Oh, my gosh. It's just so bad. Like, my memory is just not great. I'm like, do I want to put it as a place itself or like as a memory we made? Like,
Doesn't have to be like a specific thing.
Okay, fine. I got my number 3.
All right. 1, 2, 3. River
Hawker
Cruise.
Centers. What?
River Cruise.
Oh, yeah. See, I forgot about that. Like, I'm telling you, there's just so many.
Golly.
There's so many things we did. Like, I'm so happy we were there as long as we did because we did everything.
Yeah.
Like, I will say my least favorite was the Skyrider. The Sky Flyer, I mean.
That was still really cool.
Well, I mean, it was cool. It was cool. I didn't like that we had to share with people.
Yeah.
Because, like, you were inside. It's a Ferris wheel, y'all, and it's, like, as tall as, what was it compared to?
It's bigger than the one in London.
Yes, that's right. It's bigger than the one in London.
Yeah.
It was very cool. You're inside of, like, a little cabin that's the size of a school bus. But, like, everyone that was in line ahead of us got to go with their own significant other or their own family members. We, for some reason, got paired up with a whole family that also happened to have like a 90-year-old grandma, and they had struggles getting her in on time because it's like or that ride just kept going. And if you didn't step in time, bye. You're
True.
gone. So they were having a struggle just getting her in time. And I was like, do we just want to miss it accidentally so we get our own?
And it takes 30 minutes to go all the way around.
Exactly. So we were stuck in there with a family, and we never spoke to them. I felt kind of rude, but I could tell that they weren't really trying to speak to us. So, like, the feelings were mutual, but still, like, I don't know. Maybe I wanted to, like, kiss my husband a little up at the top, but we couldn't do that because there was children. So, like, we were just being really respectful, and it was just really, like, not a chill time.
It was still a good time. I liked it.
Yeah, I did too.
The hawker centers.
Yeah.
We've described what hawkers are, right?
I don't think so. We were going to come back to it. It's like a food center.
Yeah.
But all of did we talk about the choping? I think we did with the baby, right?
We've talked about it before. Yeah, we've talked about it.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go back to the previous episode because we do mention it there and it's a lot of fun.
But the hawker center, so Singapore is super strict on just a bunch of things, but it's super safe. And all of their street vendors at these hawker centers are licensed and they have to stay up to par and with their cleanliness. So it's not just a street vendor like in the middle of nowhere and they're not taking care of their food equipment and that kind of thing. It's super clean. You'd be shocked. And it was just awesome food. You can find all your food. Mm-hmm. Like honestly, if you're wanting to go to Singapore and you're like, well, I definitely don't want to do a fancy dinner. You could get by the whole trip just going to hawker centers. Try
their Hainanese chicken and rice.
And the satay.
Get their beef satay or chicken satay. Mm-hmm. Definitely go find YY's Cafe and try their kaya bread toast set. They're not called meals there, they're called sets. Mm-hmm. And get it with teh. T-E-H. Not tea, but teh. Yep. It's like the best thing in the world. Like, we had that every single day for breakfast. I'm pretty sure I gained 6 pounds alone in just that bread.
It was super good.
It was so good.
All right. Fourth thing?
I'm trying to think. Because I want to, what I'm trying to do is also not repeat what we've already, said. Yeah. You know, because I want to be able to talk about something new. You didn't get to talk about the river tour, though.
Oh, the river cruise. So, you get on these little ferries with a group of people. Yeah. And they take you out to the marina.
There was a cute little kid that was on there with us. We were all packed in there like sardines. And this little boy just kept looking at everyone, and he was just like, bye-bye, bye-bye. And then Trevor just started mocking him. He was just like, bye-bye. And it was just so funny. And, the parents got a kick out of it. They know Trevor wasn't being mean. He just thought the kid was being cute. Yep. So every time that little boy was just like, bye-bye, Trevor said it back, bye-bye. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. So the river cruise, they give you a history lesson about Singapore and important landmarks along the river and that kind of thing. They take you out to the marina. So you get a really good view of the Marina Bay Sands. If you follow Sierra or myself on Instagram, you might have seen those pictures. Or TikTok. I haven't posted. Oh, I need you to post for me. I need to look at the pictures and make sure I pick the right ones.
You have access to my phone at any time.
And then, so you just get to see all the cool landmarks, get a different perspective.
That's pretty cool.
It was just a really cool time.
And if you catch them at the right time, every single night at 7, is it 7 or 8? Was it 8? 8 p.m. Every single night at 8 p.m., if you catch them on time, you're not even allowed to schedule. This is how, lucky you have to be. Because we tried scheduling a tour at 8 p.m. They were just first come, first serve. Yep. Whoever gets here, whoever's lucky to be on the boat whenever the light show happens all over the whole entire Marina Bay, they're just count your blessings. You're lucky to catch that. So we unfortunately didn't get to catch it in time because we thought we could schedule. So that was what we went in hopes of. Mm-hmm. But if you ever get the chance to, try and go around 7:30 and get tickets to join the line to get onto the 8 o'clock one. Just because you get to see a really beautiful light show. Mm-hmm. It's so pretty. It's super impressive how they get the lights to go all the way to the very top of, the Marina Bay building, where we were at, because it's taller than the Eiffel Tower. Yep. And so, and the lights are just so bright. It's not even, little dim lights that you have to squint your eyes to actually see. They did a very phenomenal job with that.
They did.
So that was a beautiful sight to see. Even though we went to the wrong location that our Grab told us to go to.
Oh, yeah.
It was still really good. I liked that view better, actually.
Yeah.
We went to this cute little, it was kind of like a river walk area. And we thought we were going into, the right direction that the Grab told us to watch, the light show, because we missed it the first night. So we were like, okay, we'll come again before we get back to the airport to leave. Come back home to the States. And we were like, where's the light show going to be? And then we, like, turned our heads just, like, 90-degree angle, and it was already happening behind us.
Yep.
But it was still beautiful.
It was a really good view. I liked it. Just everything about this trip was amazing. Fourth thing.
Okay, I know what it is.
Okay.
1,
2, 3.
Ice cream museum.
Rollerblading.
Oh, rollerblading was so good.
I was going to say the ice cream one. Or just like doing the night walks with you.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
But no, the ice cream, you talk to about the ice cream and I'll talk about the rollerblade.
Okay, so the ice cream museum, y'all, that was so fun. We actually went to that one because we found it on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we found a lot of these things on TikTok, but this one was like a TikTok, Instagram worthy place to go because it's like super popular for like taking photos and everything. So you go in and they have different room. Well, first of all, they have different wristbands that you can purchase, which is like you get the basic one, you can go in, you get their basic flavor ice creams. You can upgrade to like VIP status, and then you can get like their secret VIP flavor that they have in every different room. They had a total of what, 4 rooms? 5 rooms. 5 rooms? Mm-hmm. So every single room you go to, it has a different theme. My personal favorite room, and you're not going to ever guess which one it was. Do you want to guess which one it was?
The banana swing.
No, I knew you were going to think that because that's my second favorite room. My first one was with all of the records on the wall.
That was a good room.
And it had all the celebrities' names as ice cream flavors. And I thought that was cute.
That was
like,
good.
What was Michael Jackson's name on the wall? Do you remember? Okay. Oh, no. It was the song. It was Chiller by Michael Jackson instead of Thriller.
Yep.
And then Katy Perry's, I can't remember what hers was, but I really liked her. It was like Teenage Dream or something like that.
You probably had the picture of it.
I think it was like Banana Cream by Katy Perry or something like that. I don't know.
Baby, this is a PG show.
Babe! No.
We have family listening.
Trevor! Oh, you're done. Get out. I didn't even mean it like that, but now I'm going to have to freaking cut that clip.
Just do beep.
My favorite flavor was beep by Katy Perry. Anyways, but no, it was really cool because every single room was different. And my second favorite room was like the banana swing room where they literally have a banana that you can sit on with a cherry next to it. And you can like sit on the cherry and swing around on that and the banana. And they had a playground in there. And to access the room, you have to go underneath a banana arch where it's literally just plastic bananas hanging from the ceiling in like yellow, pink, and red colors. And it's like a little rainbow of itself. And like literally from the floor wrapped around to the top of the arch to the back to the floor. It's all bananas. Like it was just so cool.
Yeah, it was.
And then my third favorite room was the sprinkle pool. You can literally jump into a pool filled with sprinkles. But Trevor ruined it for himself because he saw a little girl eating them. So...
I was like, the amount of germs that are in this thing.
Which is true. It's a fact.
I was like, I got in for maybe a minute because she wanted some photos, and I was like, gotta make the wife happy. So I jumped in for like a minute, and then I got out, and like, how are you still in there?
It was just so fun.
Disgusting.
Oh my god, he's such a germaphobe, y'all. Like, it was so funny because he was like, look at that little girl over there. She's putting them in her mouth and spitting them back out. And I was just laughing because... like, it was a really random thing to look over and see. Like, she was sitting by herself, literally just, like... and they're gigantic sprinkles, too. It's not, like, little tiny sprinkles you would eat and then, like, spit back out. Like, these were actually, like a ball pit. But literally, like, rectangle form to look like sprinkles. Yeah. And she was just popping them in her mouth and spitting them across the rest of the pool. And Trevor's like, I'm so out of here. That's disgusting. And I was like, yeah, I am too, but I really want photos. And there was a mom in there taking, like, a whole selfie, like, gallery of just herself. Like, she was posing all sexy and stuff. And I was like, girl, PG-13, there's children.
Yeah, true.
So... but that was pretty funny. And then we got, like, name tags where we got to name ourselves ice cream flavors. Do you remember our names that we chose for ourselves?
No.
I don't either.
We got matching sweaters.
Yeah, that was my favorite part, was we got matching sweaters, and they're pink, my favorite color, and they say Ice Cream Museum, and we wear them a lot, especially when we're missing Singapore. We put our sweaters on. But yeah, that was probably my fourth favorite place. So, talk about the roller skating.
So, if anyone here in the States, you go to a bowling alley for the most part here in the States, unless you go to like a big franchise. But if you go to like a smaller one, bowling alley or a roller skating area, they aren't the nicest, to say the least.
True.
And like you, again, if you go to these big franchises, pay the extra money, you can definitely find some nicer ones. Totally understand that. But here in, or not here in Singapore, there in Singapore.
I wish.
I know. I wish I was back there. But back there in Singapore, just everything and everywhere you go is super clean. And there was no exception with the rollerblade area. They did it up perfectly with the neon lights, the vegetation, the music. It was like, not early 2000s, but like the 2008 to 2014 type songs for the most part.
The best era.
Great era for hip hop.
Nah, but whenever Trevor heard the breakup songs coming on, he felt that with his soul. And I was like, who hurt my husband? Who did him dirty at this time in life?
I thought she was going to wreck me at rollerblading, but I had to teach her a thing or two while
I
we were
was
out
shocked. I really thought you were going to suck. And you literally made me look like I sucked. And I did. And my knees were doing this weird thing where they kept hitting each other. And I know I'm knock-kneed, but I've never skated that bad.
It was embarrassing.
It was pretty embarrassing. There was literally a bump in the...
Yeah, that one bump was... Like on the mats.
On the mats, yeah, that's what they were. Like, there was, like, safety mat. That was what I liked about it, too. Is like, they had safety mats, so if you fell, it wasn't going to hurt as bad.
Yeah.
So, I like that compared to
they didn't do it
concrete.
just on... They didn't do it on concrete or, like, hardwood floor. They did it on... Not... What's the material? It wasn't, like, rubber mats, kind of, but you could definitely still rollerblade and get speed on them.
Yeah, it was really nice. And so, like, I did fall, I think once. I think I only fell once. I only fell once. Huh? And it wasn't... Why are you rolling your eyes? I know I only fell once.
5 times.
What?
5 times.
You're a liar. No, I didn't. I fell once. Anyways. And then, so I was taking a lap, and then Trevor was feeling confident. And he was like, watch this. And then I was like, be careful for the bump. And then he literally hit the bump. And he was like, oh my God. He starts going off of the course. And I was like, yeah, that'll teach you a thing or two. I know there's a bump there because I fell. But it was pretty great.
I wanted to share something with everyone, too.
Yes.
So I'm looking at my phone. If you do go, because we did a tour second to last day, I think it was. And his name's Vincent with SV, as in Victor, rides. And we did like a 4-hour tour with him. And
oh my gosh.
It was, so he was a retired police officer, but he needed to make more money, just like here in the States, police officers don't make a bunch of money. So he started doing like these Grab, which is their version of Uber, and private rides and escorts is what he does now. But he did a great job.
The best. He made me feel like I was Princess Diana.
Yeah, no, he was fantastic. He gave us a full tour of a lot of things, showed us.
You know what my favorite part about having him on the tour with us was? When we stopped to, like, we literally told him, we asked him, hey, are we going to Orchid Lane? Or Orchid. Are we going to, what?
I thought it was Orchard.
It doesn't matter. But we were going to go to a specific street. And I wanted to go to a specific street because I was really, really wanting to see these, like, ice cream sandwiches. Like, legit ice cream sandwiches where you get a block of ice cream in a piece of bread.
Yep.
And you eat it. And it was just so popular on TikTok. And I was like, hey, by any chance, does our tour consist of us going there? And he was like, no, actually, like, we don't have time to go to that road. So what this man did is he knew of a better place to go nearby on tour, took a detour for us, pulled over, told us, hey, go over there where that little ice cream stand is and get what you're wanting and take some good photos. This is a beautiful, iconic area. And then, on top of that, he rushes back to his car, grabs tissues, and brings them out to us because he saw that we were dripping ice cream. I was just like, wow, this man is amazing. Yeah. So attentive.
And in Singapore, like most of the world, it's not a tipping culture like it is here in the States. It's okay to tip your Uber driver or your Grab drivers, but that's like the only thing I think they said to tip on.
Yeah.
Not your waitresses, not
it's
anything else.
It's considered rude.
Yeah. But it was just, everyone was so nice. Even if you weren't, like, shopping with them or doing, like, eating at the restaurant, like, even if you're just walking around and it's a normal person also walking around, everyone was just so super nice, super respectful, and it was a really good time. And I know you want to say something, but I want to say one more quick thing. It looked like you were about to say something.
No, I'm just staring at you.
Is when we told everyone that we wanted to go to Singapore or that we were going to Singapore, everyone thought it was going to be like tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah.
And
it was not.
It was. I wouldn't say it was cheap. Like you could do it
like tomorrow
3 times a year. But
yeah, like you would definitely have to save up for it.
But it definitely, like, you can do a 13-day trip, flights and hotel. You can do it under $3,200.
Yeah, it's like super inexpensive
for 2 people. By the way, that's flights from the States here in DFW.
So like
Singapore.
So like when our family is, you know, because we have been getting questions about why we didn't have a wedding, and you know, personal choice, we just wanted to elope, and we're still talking about having a reception here at home, but honestly we couldn't afford a wedding and a honeymoon, and so we were kind of just like, well, what do we want more? Memories together as a newlywed in a different country, or you know, a cheap wedding and cheap reception with very little time spent together, because we're gonna really be ripped apart to spend more of our time with our family members, and then probably go on not even a honeymoon, but somewhere like in Austin, Texas, which is not bad for people who have chosen to go there for their honeymoon. But we knew for a fact, like, we only get to get married once. Divorce is not a thing for us. We still want to have a reception. And honestly, I think people are really shocked when they're like, y'all went to Singapore, but that sounds so expensive. And I'm like, actually, it was much cheaper than us doing a wedding, a reception, and a honeymoon. So
I think the 2 big things we get when we tell people that we went to Singapore are it's super expensive. And again, I know $3,200 isn't cheap. Right. But it's not, like, that is a trip to, like, that's a week trip to Disney World.
Yeah.
Right? Or you
I
could do,
know.
or you could do 2 weeks to Singapore.
Right.
And then the second thing, like, I got this from, like, we've got this from your mom, we got this from my dad, and a couple other people. Everyone thinks it's like a dictatorship there. And
it's
you're
really
super
not.
censored.
No, I mean, they just don't want you spitting out your gum.
They just want you to be respectful.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I got from it. Like, everyone's super nice, and I asked. Sierra started getting tired of it because I asked every Grab driver, which is again Uber, every Grab driver we got and every person we talked to. I was like, so is everyone nice and just like lawful because they're scared of like what's gonna happen, or is it just like the culture there? And like, no, it's just our culture. Like, if we're nice to you, like, you're gonna be nice back to us. And, and we're nice to the person down the street. They
genuinely like being nice to each other.
Yeah.
They don't have to fake it, which is amazing.
And it was just awesome
And there's
experience.
like no road rage. That's what shocked me the most. That probably should have been my favorite thing about that place, because I hate the traffic here in Dallas. And I get road rage so easily. But they literally, like, they'll beep at each other to let them know, like, hey, your light turned green. Or like, oh, hey, man, you've been parked there for a hot second. Like, beep, go. But they're not like, beep.
Yeah.
They're not blaring on the horn. They're just like a quick beep.
And you're not speeding. Because
no speeding.
Because laws are enforced there. Not going to say it's not strict there, because it is. Like everyone's, like, the big thing everyone talks about is it's illegal to chew gum.
Yeah.
That's not the case. It's not illegal to chew gum. It's illegal to chew gum, then spit it out somewhere.
Yes, that's what I was like.
Yeah.
They just don't want you spitting gum out because that's illegal.
Exactly. They don't want you speeding. So, like, no one sped there.
Yeah, no one. Because they have cameras that are watching you instead of actual police officers out on the road pulling you over. So you will get a ticket in the mail if they see that you're speeding. They just send it to wherever the license plate is linked to. So...
And cars are super expensive there, so when you do have a car, like, you're taking care of it. You don't want to lose that option of transportation.
We will never be rich enough
to
own
like a Toyota
there.
Camry there is $120,000, which comes out to, I think, what, think that comes out to $90,000 US.
It's just insane, y'all. So, like, they were basically telling us, like, next time we go back and visit, they're like, you either get Grabs, get on the MRT train, or take buses. Because they were literally telling us, they're like, yeah, like, the worst thing you could probably do for yourself in this country is invest in a vehicle, because you also have to switch it out every 10 years because that's how they want to keep old vehicles off the roads from having breakdowns. So every single 10 years you have to either let them know, hey, I'm buying a new vehicle, and start your payments all over again for like $150,000 cars, or you just tell them like, hey, I'm no longer going to own a vehicle and I will just get by walking, taking the bus.
Which you don't need a car there.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, everything is within walking distance. It's such a tiny country. But it's so beautiful.
At minimum, it's a bus or MRT station.
Yeah. Which are literally everywhere. Everywhere you turn. And so you'll never...
And they're adding more.
Yeah. It's crazy. So... But that was kind of just a gist of our honeymoon. And we're really happy we finally get to talk about that with everyone and share our
Everyone
journey.
should go.
Yeah, we're literally encouraging everyone. You should at least go once. Like, it's such an inexpensive place to visit. Obviously, if you ever look up Singapore, people are going to be like, yes, this is such an expensive place. It's an expensive place to reside. But if you're visiting and you have your US dollars and it's more than the Singaporean dollars, you're kind of going to be, like, pretty wealthy over there.
And that's one thing we've been hearing a lot of people say, especially when we were there, is there, everyone's like, it's the cost of living is just astronomical. But like, we broke down the numbers because, again, I was asking everyone. Sierra's going a little crazy with how many people are asking about these kind of questions.
I am with a robot right now.
Like, I got an idea of some people's bills, and I compared it to like our bills here in the States. And if you're living in a metroplex here in the U.S., or a high cost living state, the cost of living was like the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're visiting, you can definitely get by and not spend a bunch of money while you're on the trip. Because hawkers, like, you can get a full meal for 2 people for $10 US.
Yeah, it was super inexpensive.
$12 US.
And, like, we bought so many snacks, oh my gosh, I missed my lychee tea.
Yeah.
We went to 7-Eleven every single day just so I could grab my lychee flavored tea. And I looked for it on Amazon. I've looked for it everywhere. They don't sell it in the U.S., so I'm heartbroken because that was
H-Mart everywhere.
Yeah, it was, like, the best thing I've ever drank. But we're going to go ahead and end this episode with our Am I the A-Hole segment. And I'm going to go ahead and let y'all listen to this audio version of it, and we will just discuss it from there.
Dad skipped my wedding because I wouldn't let him bring his affair partner and affair baby. My mom was in a car accident 5 years ago. She has been in the hospital since then. 3 years ago, my father got his affair partner pregnant and moved her into our home. My mom just passed away from a lung infection last year. I just got married last weekend to my husband. My dad paid for my wedding, but he wanted me to invite his affair partner and his affair baby. I said no. It would be disrespectful to the memory of my mom. He tried to insist, but I held my ground. He finally just said he wished me a very happy day and that I had a long and happy marriage. And then he took his new family to Disney instead of coming to my wedding. My brother Alex walked me down the aisle, but that was always the plan. And he was also the one who I danced with for the family dance. My dad was just supposed to come as a guest. My husband is on my side, but a lot of my family is upset with me for excluding my father and his affair family. Even Alex said I was wrong for what I did. But I don't think I am. My dad skipped my wedding.
All right. So, who wants to go first? Do you want to go first?
You go first.
I don't really know where to start. There's so many things I have to say about that.
Go for it.
So, I don't think she's an a-hole, but I think she had the intentions to be an a-hole because she invited her dad, but she didn't want him to bring the affair, like, lady and or child. But she was going to be petty in the wedding by never having him walk her down the aisle and having her brother dance with her for the, like, father-daughter dance. But she wanted her dad to see that. So that, to me, was an issue. She was going to be an a-hole. But then her dad was like, nah, I'll let me do you one better. I'm just not going to go.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take my mistress and our child to Disney.
Yeah.
But then I'm also like, okay, but then the kids are the a-holes if they didn't tell their mom that their dad was having an affair unless the mom knew, because she was in the hospital throughout all this time.
For sure.
And recently died.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like someone had to have told her that he was having an affair, or the family just really kept that secret from her. Then in that case, everyone's the a-hole.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my stand on it. I don't really know. I think everyone in this situation's the a-hole given the circumstances. We don't know the full story. So we don't know if the mom knew. And if she does know, then I guess, you know, the only a-hole there was the dad. No, not even. I think the only a-hole there was the daughter. Because she had the intentions of being an a-hole.
Yeah.
But then the dad was.
Yeah.
Because he dipped for Disney.
Well, I
also understand why she wouldn't want the affair and the Fairchild there. So it's valid.
I don't know. So, like, we've been trying to walk closer to God. We're trying to grow our faith as before we got married, individually, and then together as a married couple. We've just been trying to grow closer to God. And with that, like, comes with a lot of forgiveness. And we've been trying to do a lot more forgiving, whether it's day-to-day life and someone cuts you off in traffic, or if it's something from the past.
Why are you adding me? Why are you adding me?
But Sierra and I have been trying to just become more forgivable.
It's hard.
Or forgiving.
Forgiving.
So in this situation, I would encourage, she can't redo it, but I feel like she's going to regret not having her dad there.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like, sure.
Now, I know we didn't have our parents, but we didn't have anyone there.
Yeah.
Now, she had a wedding, and like you said, she had her intentions to exclude him.
Yeah. Like, she wanted him there, but she wanted him to see that he was being excluded.
Yeah, and not to say, like, what he did was wrong, right?
Right.
But, I mean, he's paying for her wedding.
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
And again, like, you can't buy love, but...
Yeah, you can.
But I think what's between him and his
like,
ex-wife...
he may have been a bad husband, but he might be a good father.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying she should have forgiven him 100% and just moved on quickly, because it seems like it was all pretty fresh.
Right.
But I feel like she is going to regret that. So, yeah, I definitely leaning more towards her, but I think it's just a sticky situation. And I also feel like she probably didn't add. I bet there was more to it.
I'm sure there was,
and
but for the sake of keeping it short, they're not going to tell us everything.
Exactly. So, with the information we have, I'm leaning more towards her, but not.
Well, I guess I can see it being both of them with the information, because he's also the father, and he chose to be petty back rather than like, oh, my affair can't be invited to this wedding. Fine, then we're just not going to go, and we're going to take our happy selves to Disney. So he's being petty, she's being petty, and they're both being a-holes to each other.
I don't think that's being petty, though. Like, because, again, sounds like he was... Not sounds like. Obviously, he was a terrible husband to her mom, right? He cheated on her and had a baby, right?
Right.
However, I think he's now trying to be a good husband to his new family, and he's sticking to his guns and sticking with his new wife. Like,
did they get married? Did it say that?
Either way, he's just trying to be a good dad now to the new kid, and it's like...
But remember, we don't know if he was ever a bad dad to the previous kids.
Agreed. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're telling me that I can't have my wife and kid there...
But if that's not his wife and she's just the mistress, then that's understandable.
I do think they got married. But either way, he's still trying to show that he's a good dad to the new baby. And
I don't know. It's kind of like the show Reba that I've been watching, where... Reba and Barbara Jean don't get along.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, well, Barbara Jean marries Brock.
Yep.
But then she has the audacity to tell Reba, like, I want you at the wedding. And Reba's the ex-wife.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want anything to do with this wedding.
Yeah.
But then she ends up there because her daughter is in the wedding, and she decides to go and be in the wedding last second. And then she sews herself to Barbara Jean's dress by accident because she stepped on Barbara Jean's dress by accident and rips it.
Yep.
And then she's like, well, let me help you fix it because I did step on it by accident. But then she sewed her pants to it. And then she was walking down the aisle with her and she embarrassed the crap out of herself. And it was really awkward and everyone was talking bad about her. So I don't really know where that was going. It made me think of Reba and how I want to go watch it now. But anyways, all right, y'all. I think this is a good way. What was he eating? Oh, gosh.
His hair. Hurry.
Okay. Trevor just had to get dog hair out of Asta's mouth. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up
Bye,
this episode.
everyone.
Okay, let me finish.
Sorry.
Trevor's freaking out. Babe, you can go. I'll end it. Alrighty, y'all. So thank y'all for tuning into another episode. We'll hang out with you again next Saturday. Next Saturday, I'm thinking is probably going to be an advice time where I just sit down and have advice one-on-one to anybody who's kind of going through confidence issues. So we'll talk then. Love you all. Have a great rest of your day. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, and hit that post notification button if you haven't already. And I'll hang out with y'all in the next one. Bye.
Bye.